Okay, welcome everyone. So thank you for being here with our community engagement speaker series for September 2025, welcoming Jennifer from the College Vocational Program from George Brown College. So I'm just going to start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on as a traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Anishinaabe, and the Wendat people, and is now home to many diverse First Nations and Inuit and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Each month, Community Living Toronto's Community Engagement Speaker Series highlights different topics of interest, providing education and information to individuals with intellectual disabilities, their families, caregivers, and the community at large. This month, we are pleased to welcome Jennifer Dewar, the program coordinator from George Brown College's College Vocational One-Year Certificate Program. This program is for students who identify with a mild intellectual disability or neurodiversity as a barrier to becoming successful in the workplace. The inclusive program will help develop skills and interests of communication, teamwork, self-awareness, and self-advocacy, and give students the confidence to achieve their goals. And with that being said, I will hand it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for coming this evening, and thank you for the invitation. I'm going to share my screen, and I have a PowerPoint that I'll go through with you this evening, and then there'll be an opportunity for questions at the end. And so I just want to check in that folks can see my screen okay?
Yep.
Perfect. And we will start the slideshow. Oops, there we go. So as Tom mentioned, I'm here to talk about the College Vocational Program at George Brown College. We are and I also would like to do a land acknowledgement. This is George Brown College's land acknowledgement, and that is George Brown is located on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and other Indigenous peoples who have lived here over time. And we're grateful to share this land as treaty people who learn, work, and live in the community with each other. Pictured on the screen is our St. James campus. It's 200 King Street East. This is our main campus building, and this is where all of our classes will take place. It's quite accessible. You see the streetcar going by right out front. We're about a 10-minute walk from King Subway Station, or a 15-minute walk from Union Station. And we have students coming from all over the GTA, including downtown Toronto, but out Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, Newmarket, and everywhere in between. So the College Vocational Program is a full-time post-secondary program. It's 1 year or 2 semesters. We start in September and we'll finish in April. And so we just started last week. We've got a full class, and our next start date will be for September 2026. And we will be starting to take applications in the next few weeks. So to be eligible to apply for the College Vocational Program, you must have one of the following: an Ontario Secondary School Certificate, or an Ontario Secondary School Diploma, or be 19 years of age or older before the first day of school, in which case you have a mature student status. And sometimes the mature students may have neither. They may have graduated from high school with a certificate of accomplishment or achievement. The big difference between the OSSC, the Ontario Secondary School Certificate, and the Ontario Secondary School Diploma is the certificate is typically 14 credits in school, where the diploma is 30 credits. All applicants, if you're interested in the College Vocational Program, must apply through ontariocolleges.ca or OCAS, as all other post-secondary programs. And so the College Vocational Program is a job readiness program that's designed to meet the unique vocational and educational needs of students who may identify as neurodiverse or living with a mild intellectual disabilities. And the program has been designed to meet the needs of these students who may require some additional supports while attending a post-secondary program. The College Vocational Program is really a supportive program for students who may have graduated from high school with predominantly workplace credits. They perhaps may have been accommodated. And so for many students, this is a transitional program that bridges that gap between high school and work and high school and further academics. We use a cohort model in our program, and that means that all of our students will take all of the same courses together. And so our program is that it's an inclusive program, and we help students to develop skills in communication, teamwork, self-awareness, self-advocacy, and really to help them build confidence in order to reach their goals. Students will also have an opportunity to do some self-discovery, some career exploration, and some career planning. And in second semester, the students will participate in a work integrated learning experience or a co-op. We know that for many young people, going to college is a really exciting transition. And really the natural progress for most young people is you finish high school, you go on to college or university, and then out into the world of work. And the college vocational program provides that same opportunity for students who may not normally qualify for more traditional college programs. This is a targeted program, and we have built-in accommodations to support our students. So some of those accommodations and built-in supports that we have are, one is access to Office 365. That's the Microsoft suite. And within that Microsoft suite, our Word documents include an immersive reader for students who may have some challenges with reading, but also a dictation function for students who may need some support with their writing. We provide additional time for homework, assignments, and tests. In fact, we offer a weekly homework space that's supported by myself, support staff, and tutors from our Tutoring and Learning Center. Students will also have access to adaptive technology, such as the immersive reader and dictation that I had mentioned earlier, but also with our D2L Brightspace. That's our learning management system where we post our learning materials. It also has built-in adaptive technology that we will share with our students. And we have adaptive technologists available at the school if students need additional support. In addition to these built-in supports and accommodations, our students can also register with Accessible Learning Services if further supports are required. On the screen right now is our accessibility and inclusivity statement. And really it is that we recognize that everyone learns differently and experiences learning in different ways. We really do strive to be an accessible and inclusive learning environment. And we use the basic principles for universal design for learning and an anti-oppressive practice. And again, that's recognizing that people have a diverse life experiences and have diverse ways of learning. And we will provide materials in different ways. We will present, we will repeat, we will rephrase, and we'll provide students with alternate ways of demonstrating learning. Our students don't write exams in our class. We are happy to be in ongoing conversation with our students throughout this course about how we can support accessibility and inclusivity within our classroom. And so how do you know if the college vocational program might be the right fit for you? So I can tell you that students who have come to our program in the past have had accommodations in high school. They may have participated in a special education program or a vocational program. You may have accessed a resource room or a resource teacher, maybe an EA for extra support. And I would say all of the students who are coming into the college vocational program had an individual education plan in high school. So students often are coming to the college vocational program for the following reasons, and that is that they're looking to develop self-esteem and self-confidence. And I think that's really one of the best things that we do in the vocational program is to help our students to do this. Students are often, they're graduating from high school, they're 17, 18, 19, 21 years old, and they're really not sure what they want to do next. But they are interested in building employment skills. They are interested in connecting with peers who have shared experiences, and they need some additional support in both academic and employment settings. So while you're in the college vocational program, you will have the opportunity to connect with your peers and professors, both inside class and outside of class. We have a weekly community space, and that's an opportunity for students to hang out, relax, and have some fun together. They play games, they listen to music, they have talent shows, they do all kinds of lots of fun stuff to be able to connect with one another. You'll also prepare for expectations in the workplace. You will, sorry, my dog is knocking my computer. We'll identify areas of interest, strengths, abilities, and values. You'll have an opportunity to set short-term and long-term goals, and you'll be provided with an opportunity to do a work integrated learning experience. We have a community partner, and they are PTP, Pathways to Possibilities. They're a community employment support program, and partnering with them has given us the opportunity to provide even more supports to our students. And so PTP will, one of their job coaches will come in and deliver weekly employment related workshops with our students. And our students can remain clients of PTP upon graduation with the goal of finding decent paid employment. You'll see the PTP link is there, www.ptp.ca, if you're interested in learning more about them. You don't have to be a George Brown student. You don't have to be a college vocational student in order to access their services. You are welcome to check them out. Just a little bit more about Pathways to Possibilities. They offer both adult learning and employment programs, but they also offer employment supports. And their mission really is to empower people to learn and find work that they value. Some of the workshops that they'll deliver are about improving your interview and networking skills, learning how to better manage conflict, knowing your rights in the workplace. They'll also talk about health and safety in the workplace. They'll talk about social media and job search. Lots of opportunities for good learning related to the workplace. And so really the goal of our partnership is that students are coming into the college vocational program. They're having that opportunity to do some self-discovery, some career exploration, some career planning. They're developing skills in communication, personal and professional dynamics. And but also they're having some employment related workshops and moving with the goal to move out into job search and employment after completing the program. These are our program outcomes. And we say upon successful completion of the program, students will have reliably demonstrated the ability to, one, apply key information processing skills to employment and academic contexts. You will be able to apply workplace conventions and practices. You will produce a career portfolio with associated artifacts. You'll use essential literacies to carry out tasks and responsibilities. And you'll manage personal and professional growth in both employment and academic contexts. I know these are big words for some people, and what does all of this mean? But where we're going to be learning these things these are our semester 1 courses, our communications and math skills and strategies for work and life. Communications, that's sort of college level English. Really, we're focused on everyday communications, text messages, memos, emails, personal emails versus professional emails, policies and procedures. And so these are, again, there were things that we're going to be looking at in the workplace. I know math skills, math makes a lot of people feel a little bit nervous, but we're looking at, again, everyday math that we're using in the workplace. So we're looking at, the metric system versus imperial. We're looking at different types of measurements that you might see in the workplace. We're talking about money math. We're talking about how do you read a pay stub. Personal and professional dynamics in this course. This is your personal skills course, where you're learning to work with people and to manage difficult situations. You'll be developing skills and creating a toolbox for yourselves about managing different sorts of work environments and working with different types of people. Also within this course, you learn about human rights and how they apply to the workplace. Digital skills, that's your digital skills. Learn a computer literacy class. Again, we're covering things like creating folders, being organized online, being able to access material and information, writing emails, cover letters, and things like that. And then transitions to work. This is the course where you'll do that self-discovery and career exploration. We do a number of self-assessments and interest inventories and help students to create occupational profiles, elevator pitches, and we'll do mock interviews. So this is our first semester schedule. This is actually the current schedule that we're using right now. So you'll see that we have classes scheduled Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 and 4. You'll also note on the schedule, there's a section A and there's a section B. And that's because we split our class for some of our classes. And we feel that that's a better a support for our students to have smaller class sizes with one professor. And so we'll have a section A and you'll see that they come in the morning. They'll have class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. Thursday, we have class all day. We have class from 9 to 12. We'll have a lunch break from 12 to 1, and then we continue with class from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. Fridays is a little bit different. We start a little bit later. We'll start at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is where our partner, PTP, the job coach, will come in and do our workshops with us. We'll have our community space from 12 to 1:30. That's your lunch break, but definitely your opportunity to connect with your peers and have some fun. And then we'll wrap up Friday afternoon with our homework space. And this is an opportunity if you weren't able to complete your assignments in class or at home, this is an opportunity for you to get some support from myself, from a support staff, and a couple of our tutors from the Tutoring and Learning Center. And so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, section A has class in the morning from 9 to 12, and then they go home at 12 o'clock. And then you'll see in the afternoon, we have section B. And so section B will come in and they'll have their class from 1 to 4, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday's a little bit different. Section A and B are both in together for the full day, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. So plan to be there from 9 to 4. And then Friday's the same from 10 to 3 that we have all classes. Sorry, I jumped ahead there. When we have section A and B together, that's our full class is 38 students. And so you'll find in section A has 20 students, section B has 18 students. But section A and B, when we're all together Thursday and Friday, is a total of 38 students, but there'll be 2 teachers. I co-teach that with another professor at George Brown. So semester 2, you see that they look much the same. They are building on what we have learned in the first semester. And so we continue with these classes part 2 into second semester. And so our schedule for the first 7 weeks in the second semester is pretty much identical to our first semester. We're continuing on with that same schedule, and we're building on the same skills that we had developed in the first semester. The big difference in second semester is for the final 7 weeks is when our students will move out into their work placements. And so you'll see students will go to their work placement Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The hours are TBD, to be decided. And that's because it depends on the workplace. And so I'm going to talk the next slide to give some examples of where our students might do their work placements. We've had lots of students working at places like Shoppers Drug Mart, and some Shoppers Drug Mart, they're open, they have very long hours, and our students, they might work from 8 to 4, or they might work 10 to 6. We've had some students working at Cineplex Odeon in the past, and typically they're not open first thing in the morning, but they might start at 12 and they might work till 7. We've had some students working in daycare settings, and sometimes they start very early. They might work 7 to 3. So anyways, what I'm saying, it varies student to student based on their interest and what the work, where that workplace they attend, but we're happy to negotiate that time with you. Typically, students are working between 6 to 8 hours each day. However, we do have some flexibility, and we recognize that not all students are able to work that, and some students may work 4 to 5 hours instead. And we have a little bit of flexibility. We really want students to be successful. And so we'll work with students and what their needs are. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are placement days. Students will come into college Thursday and Friday. We'll have class. Thursday, again, is all day. It's 9 to 12, and then we'll have a lunch break, 12 to 1. And then we will have an afternoon class from 1 to 4. We come back in on class on Fridays from 9 to 12. We'll have community space, and I'm sorry, I don't have homework space listed on this, but we'll have homework space after community space, and we'll finish early as well. We'll probably finish at 3 o'clock on Fridays. So this is the current schedule we'll be using for this year. There's sometimes we make some changes depending on classroom availability. So here are some of the examples of where our students have done placements in the past. This is not an exhaustive list. There's many others. And we also look at new employers all the time. Why do we look at new employers? Why? Because the students are different every year. They live in different places, and we try to find them placements close to home. And certainly their interests are different every year. When I say we want to help students to find an area of interest, but we also have to look at realistic options, and we're looking at entry-level positions. We teach more of the transferable skills within the college vocational program rather than specific skills that may be taught in other college programs. And so there's just some placements that we may not be able to enter. For example, we've had lots of students who are interested in game design, and we are not able to get placements in game design because the companies who are taking game design students are taking students from that specific program. And so I say to some students may have to wait until they decide to go into another college program if that's the right fit for them. Again, we're looking at entry-level positions that students will not necessarily require another post-secondary program in order to attain these positions. So many students go into retail positions such as Shoppers Drug Mart, Party City, Pet Value, Giant Tiger, Longo, Sobeys, Freshco, and many other retailers across the GTA. Lots of students have been interested in working with animals, and they've worked at places like the Toronto Wildlife Center and the Toronto Humane Society, also at different doggy daycares throughout the city as well. Students have worked at Habitat for Humanity, which is sort of a cross between retail and warehouse work. We've had students interested in working in restaurants and kitchens, and they've worked at places like Moxie's, Pickle Barrel, Fusion Sushi, but many other restaurants as well. We've had students interested in working with children, and they've worked at different daycares and elementary schools. I would say that this is getting much more difficult for us to get into these places because, again, daycares and elementary schools are taking students who are in early childhood education programs. So those places can be a little bit more competitive. We've had students interested in trades, specifically mechanics. And so we've had students at places like Midas, Toyota, Active Green and Ross, mechanics. We've had students at Amsterdam Brewery working in their warehouse. We've had students working in seniors' residences in different positions, some of them working in activation, and that's working directly with seniors and doing different activities. But we've also had them working in sort of the housekeeping department, if that was their interest, or we've had them working in the administrative section, if that was their interest. Holiday Inn, we've had students working in the housekeeping department, and Cineplex sort of doing tickets, maintenance, cleaning, and those sorts of things. Again, our placement list is not limited to these. These are just some examples. If you come to the college vocational program, these are some things that we ask of our students, and that is that you contribute to a safe and respectful learning environment. We ask that you be punctual and attend all classes. And that's because we're preparing you to go out to work. This is a job readiness program. And one of the key components of being successful in work is being on time. We ask that you come and have a positive attitude, be motivated to learn and to try new things, be a team player and being willing to work with others. Again, that's something that's so, so important. Employers say that they can teach you the skills to be able to do the job. But being a team player is really, really an important aspect of working. And that's something that employers are really looking for. So you will have lots of opportunity to practice being a team player at the college. And we ask that you're open to feedback. Your professors will give you ongoing feedback, and it's not meant to criticize you. It's really meant to help you to learn and grow and to reach your goals. So what you can expect from us is support and encouragement. We will be your cheerleaders. We want you to be successful. And we really do. We welcome students to ask questions and share ideas. We want you to be successful. We want you to reach your goals. And so we will provide you with ongoing feedback to help you to do that. And certainly we're available to assist with any sort of problem solving as well. This is a little bit of a self-assessment that I do with applicants who are thinking about applying to the program. And if you're questioning, is this the right program for me? And so as I read through, if you are here this evening and thinking about, is this the right program for you? As I read through the statements, just answer to yourself. Is this me? Yes or no? I'm motivated to learn new things. I am motivated to get a job. I have some strategies to cope with my difficult feelings. I can manage my behavior so that it does not disrupt others around me. I can manage my free time outside of class without assistance. I am open to receiving constructive feedback. I am open to learning from others. I am open to working with others. And I am committed to developing professional skills for the workplace. And I say, if you've answered yes to most of these statements, that this may be a good program for you. I also find myself, I get asked many times by parents and teachers and guidance and other sort of support people, what are you looking for in a student? And this is what I'm telling them. This is what we're looking for in a student, as somebody who's motivated, who is really interested in learning and getting a job that will help you to be successful in our program. So this is just a little bit more about the George Brown College in general. George Brown offers a range of activities and services and supports for students. And I don't know if we've got any sports fans in the house, but or athletes. We're George Brown Huskies, and we certainly have had many students participate in sports. Last year, we had 8 or 9 students participate in unified basketball. There's lots of activities and recreation happening at the school that you can get involved in. But George Brown also, we have student success. We have Indigenous education. We have an Office of Anti-Racism, Equity, Human Rights Services. We have Positive Space. And that's because George Brown is really committed to diversity and inclusion. We have career services. And if you come to our program, you'll have an opportunity to meet with a career advisor who will help you to either create a resume or help you to update your resume. We have a student association at George Brown that offers lots of discounts to students on different things. They offer a health benefit package and many other resources for students. Of course, all of these wonderful things cost money. This is a post-secondary program. And so with that is tuition fees. And so this year's fees are approximately $3,779. Of course, that always changes a little bit each year. So I'm showing the current cost, but that may change next year. It may go up a little bit. But know that these are all of your costs. You don't have to buy any textbooks. We provide all course materials on our learning management system, and that's D2L Brightspace. We encourage students to bring a laptop if you have one. But if you don't, we can lend you one while you're on campus. And the library also has one that you can take home with you if you need to take home. The only additional cost that you may incur is if you are looking for a specific work placement. For example, if you're going into childcare, most daycares require you to have your first aid certificate, which can sometimes have an associated cost. They may ask you to have a police check, which also has an associated cost to it. So for students who may be looking at early childhood education, it may cost you about $200 in order for you to get your police check, your first aid check, and to get make sure that all of your immunizations are up to date with your doctor. If you're interested in working in a kitchen, you may be required to buy non-slip shoes to work in that kitchen. If you're working in a warehouse or in trades, you may be required to buy steel-toed boots. And so those are the extra costs that I'm talking about, but otherwise, all of your learning materials are included. The financial assistance is available. This program is approved for OSAP funding, provided that you meet the eligibility criteria. If you are applying for OSAP and you're a student with a disability, you may be eligible for some grant money as well. There is OSAP support at the college. We do have a financial aid office, and if you are accepted into the program and you are applying for OSAP, I am happy to connect you with a financial assistance advisor who can assist you with that. And so this is our application and intake process. It is a fairly lengthy and thorough process, and that's really because we want to make sure that this is the most appropriate program for you. This is a competitive program, and we do have many more applications than we are able to accept. But we say, don't let that deter you from applying. Like I said, this is not the most appropriate program for everyone who applies. The first step is to attend an information session, which is really what this is this evening, is an information session. If you've attended this evening and you wish to continue with your application, I would encourage you, please email me and I'll send you our internal application form. So I just want to point out there's two applications. There's the OCAS application, that's the Ontario Colleges.ca, that is mandatory for any applicant who's applying for an Ontario college program. But then we also have our own internal college vocational application form. And that's where we ask you a little bit more specific information. We're looking for information about why do you want to come to the college vocational program? What are you hoping to learn? We ask you a little bit about your work experience and supports that, or any sort of accommodations that supported you in high school. We also ask that you provide us with emails for 3 references. And typically references are your teachers. They might be a guidance person, or maybe it's a workplace supervisor. Reference forms are sent directly to references, and they are sent directly back to the college, and they are confidential. We ask for 3, we need a minimum of 2 references. After you attend the information session, you will receive an email from us with a link for that application form with a reminder to complete it. Once you submit your application form, you will receive another email from us with a link saying to please register for your intake assessment class, which is step number 2. This will take place online. It's an opportunity to meet some other applicants and to see what it might be like to be a participant in the college vocational classroom. It's also an opportunity for myself and my colleagues to assess, again, is this maybe an appropriate program for you? We also will ask you to complete a reading comprehension assessment, which I will explain in detail at the, I'll explain in detail at the intake class. It's not a test and it's not pass or fail, but it helps us to understand the applicant as a learner. It starts off fairly easy, starting with images and sight words, moving into small paragraphs and passages. But again, we're looking for students what their level is at. And then we're also looking for you to participate in large group activities and small group work in the intake class. After you attend the intake class, you'll receive an email with us with that reading comprehension assessment, as well as a link to register for your interview. The interview will be online. It's typically with myself and another staff member. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, and it's with the applicant only. There's no trick questions. We really just want to get to know you better. We're asking about your high school experience and what supports were helpful to you. We're asking about your interests and what type of work you might like to do, and why you might want to come into the college vocational program. We'll ask for you to submit your individual education plan and a resume if you have one. When it comes to final decisions, please know that we do consider each application thoughtfully, but we're not able to accept all applicants that apply. Last year we had 92 applications for just 38 spots. Our decision to accept or not will be emailed to you, and if you receive an offer, it's up to you whether you will accept it or not. If you're not accepted this year, you are welcome to reapply next year. And we have accepted students on their second application and sometimes even on their third application. And that brings me to the end of our slide deck for this evening, and you'll see my contact information here. Again, my name is Jennifer Dewar. My email is jdewar@georgebrown.ca. You'll see that my colleague Liz Brockus, that's L Brockus at georgebrown.ca, is also available for questions. Please feel free to email me at any time. You'll see that there's a link to our website. I am happy to share this slide deck, and Tom, I can send this to you. So if anybody's interested, I can share that. That's not a problem at all. And so I'm going to pause here and I'm going to take a sip of water and ask if there's any questions.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So regarding the employment placements, and this might be a silly question, are the students paid during those placements?
Unfortunately not. I wish we could, but it's challenging. It's really challenging to find placements, especially now in the current economy. Finding placements can be a real challenge, and so unfortunately, we are not able to do paid placements.
And those placements, do sometimes those placements turn into paid positions for students?
Sometimes they do. The last few years, it's been a really strange job market the last few years since pandemic. I mean, we've had some ups and downs, and the world of work hasn't quite returned to how it used to be. We do sometimes have students get offered positions. It doesn't happen as often as we like, unfortunately. And I really do feel that that is really the current political climate and the job market at its current state, unfortunately. However, with that being said, if students are not offered positions, they can remain clients of PTP, and PTP has job developers and job coaches who can offer job search support to our students if they're looking to look for work after the program.
Does anyone else have any questions that may have come up during Jennifer's presentation? Sounds like a wonderful program. Sounds really, really good.
It is really great. I love I hear back from graduates all the time. I actually just had an email this afternoon from a student who was in our class 4 years ago. He was actually, when we were online, when we had returned from after the pandemic, we ran our first year online, and he had come back last year and he had done a DJ session for us. Anyways, No, I think this program is really supportive for students. I think that students not only reach academic and employment goals, but they also make community connections and friendships that can last a lifetime.
Absolutely. Kelly.
Actually, Jennifer, I'm an English teacher, and I've had some students in that program, and they just rave about it. Actually, they've
wonderful.
said some incredible things, and they've gone on to have really great, careers that they love. So, I'm very familiar with the program, and I just wanted to extend my appreciation for that, because they go on and on about it all the time, and I'm like, awesome. So I already knew about the program, so I had recommended it to them, and they just thrived in it. So
that's wonderful. Thank you for that feedback, Kelly. I've been working in this program for 15 years now, and to me, it's an absolute joy. I love my job. I love my students. It brings me such great job satisfaction. To see the growth in my students from September to April is absolutely amazing. And they come back and visit me. And some of them continue on at the college and move into other programs. And sometimes they move out into the world of work. Hi there, I see another hand up. Oh, you're on.
Jennifer, yeah, I think you can hear me. I think we spoke a few months ago. I don't know if you remember my name, Mary.
I do remember you.
Yeah, hi. I have a question for you. Is there, I think we talked about this, but I can't recall how that works. Like if the student were interested more in going back to school, like let's say through this program, they realize, oh, I do want to do game design, or I do want to do XYZ, that they could be open doors or be guided to what is available at George Brown, or kind of help them with figuring out what they want to do maybe. So it's not necessarily a job. It could be another school program.
That's right. Some of our students do. Now, I mean, that's not what our focus on. Our focus is not on academics. Our focus is really on job readiness. But with that being said, we do help students to set short-term and long-term goals, and we do help them to create action plans and look at areas of interest. And we'll connect them. I typically recommend the college vocational program is just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And just like in high school that they perhaps needed some accommodations and some extra time, that is also true in high school or in college, sorry. And so I usually recommend to complete the college vocational program and then move into academic upgrading. And even if you have an Ontario secondary school diploma. And why? Because academic upgrading focuses on academic reading and academic writing that will help students to be successful in other college programs. The college vocational program is not as academically rigorous as what a more traditional college program is. And students can have it can be quite the jump for them to go from our program into a regular program. The coursework is quite dramatic. And so I always encourage them to go to academic upgrading first to help them to build those skills. Sometimes they choose not to, and that's okay. I don't know everything, and people have the right to make their own choices and decisions. I also recommend that students register with Accessible Learning Services when they move into another program, including academic upgrading. Within the college vocational program, we build in these supports for our students, but not all programs do. It's starting, and we have a really big push for universal design for learning at George Brown, and many, many professors have taken that certificate program to do that in order to better support students, especially with disabilities in our classroom. So anyways, that's a long-winded thing, but yes, we help students to set goals, and we do help them to create action plans that will guide their next steps. And so academic upgrading is a really great next step. Registering with Accessible Learning Services, and sometimes taking a reduced course load in another program can also be a big support for students.
Perfect.
Every student is different. And I certainly have students in my class every year that I will not recommend further education because it will not be the right fit for them.
Right. Good. Okay. I just wanted it was an option. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Eric or Seon, any questions from you? I guess you answered everything, Jennifer.
That's wonderful. Well, if any questions come to mind, Tom, please share my email with these folks,
For
and I
sure.
will send you my PowerPoint. If questions come up, I'm happy to answer any questions. If people want to email me, please email me. I know people ask me for my phone number all the time. The world of work is much different. I don't have my own desk with a landline. There is a landline that you can call, but I will never answer it because it's not at my desk. So email me. Email me. I am happy to pick up the phone and call you. I'm happy to set up a Zoom call with you. I have an appointment link on my email, so you can always just click and book an appointment with me as well.
Super. Well, with that being said, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Jennifer, for that wonderful presentation and information. Yeah, we'll touch base and hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday.
Great. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.